Just as I thought, it's Gunther. He'll be John Cena's final opponent. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean, and these are my assorted thoughts on the December 5th, 2025 WWE Smackdown. I'm recording this December 7th, Sunday. It's about just before 6 p.m. And of course, the whole show is setting up to Gunther versus LA Knight in the finals of the Last Time Is Now tournament to determine who was going to be John Cena's final opponent. Now, I watched this show with my brother because we had just recorded some year in review best of 2025 videos, which are going to come out sporadically over the next few weeks. Got to be edited and all that. But he actually thought LA Knight was going to win. I mean, I think he wanted LA Knight to win. I knew from the start Gunther was going to win this tournament. But watching the promos during the show, I started seeing that, maybe LA Knight winning would be good. And I could see that actually working out. But Gunther's promo in particular, where he said, "Watch how I finish this match," really became important. The match itself was excellent, really exciting. And I did think it a few times LA Knight might win. But ultimately, Gunther prevailed and LA Knight tapped out to a move similar to the STFU. And then Gunther went right to the camera, said, "See, Cena, I'm going to make you tap." Now, in the setup to Cena's match against Gunther, I think the ending to this match was perfect because Cena is the guy who's never give up, never surrender, and he hasn't tapped out since I think they said 2003, or I heard that somewhere. So it's like, is Cena going to actually tap? Like, everyone thinks Cena might lose his last match. That's no big deal, but is he actually going to tap out? I think he might actually pass out in the last match, but then wake up for his accolades, or maybe he's actually going to win. But having this match end like this gave some real excitement for the Last Time Is Now tournament. But for LA Knight, though, I think just losing the Gunther by pinfall is one thing, but to have him actually tap out to Gunther, even though it was a very exciting match and it definitely built him and having him get this far in the tournament, I'm wondering if that doesn't maybe hurt him a little, having him tap out to Gunther. Of course, it is Gunther, but baby faces usually pass out, not tap out. So in a sense, what he didn't just put over Gunther, he put over John Cena even more by if Cena eventually doesn't end up tapping. So, but you know what? This is better than LA Knight losing in like the first round, or losing to Jey Uso or something, and Gunther having Jey Uso tap out, because this made a lot more sense, and this was a really exciting end to the show. And even though I thought during the match that LA Knight might win, my original thought that Gunther had to win prevailed, and I'm still slightly surprised to see that what I thought this whole time happened actually happened. But the way it happened was very interesting. So this was definitely a good end to a really hot SmackDown. The show started really hot, too, with Drew McIntyre showing up when he was still suspended. At least they're continuing that. But then the real surprising thing was he gets into his car and Cody's in the car waiting for him and attacks him, which seemed a bit out of character for Cody. But then he stormed to the ring and he made it make total sense. After all, it was Drew McIntyre who had attacked him on his bus where his wife and kids sleep, stuff like, maybe they obviously weren't there at the time. And he's like, this is personal, and let's go for round 3. Now, just starting off the show like this, I mean, they did do this a couple of weeks ago with this story, but in general, you don't see, and they did it with, I think, Charlotte Flair. Well, even that was before the show, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania, just before leading up to WrestleMania. But you don't see this that often anymore. They used to always start their shows like this. One that I remember was also with Drew back when he attacked Karrion Kross in the parking lot, like several years ago when Drew was still a babyface. So it seems Drew is good for these really hot starts. And Cody made the attack make perfect sense. But now, doing Drew and Cody round 3, if Drew loses a third time after losing the first 2 times, and he wasn't the one who got the pin on Cody in War Games, Cody's team lost, but him and Cody weren't even involved with that. Maybe Drew's going to win. Maybe he's going to win by disqualification. Or maybe he's going to win the title and then lose it right back. I don't think it's going to be Cody and maybe Orton, maybe Punk. I hope maybe Roman at WrestleMania. But I don't think it's going to be Cody and Drew. And I think Cody's got to have the championship for that to work. who knows? Maybe Drew will get it and they'll throw a complete swerve and Cody will be in some other kind of match or something. But I'm still glad they're doing a part 3 because these guys do work well together. And like I said, that was not just a really hot end to the show, a really hard start to the show with this storyline. Of course, that wasn't the end for Cody in the night. Turns out he's going to be fighting the winner of Obafemi and Ricky Saints. Whoever wins on the NXT PLE, which was last night. Spoiler alert, Obafemi won. I just heard that I actually don't really watch NXT, but I saw that Obafemi won. So cool. He's going to be facing Obafemi on Saturday night's main event as one of the exhibition matches leading into Cena's last match. Now, I think this is really good. I think I said to my brother at the time, I was like, okay, so yeah, it's exhibition matches, but they're not getting The Miz. They're getting Cody. And in fact, it was made clear they're not getting The Miz, these NXT people, when Nick Aldis outright said no to The Miz before introducing Bayley, who is going to be facing Sol Ruca. Now, I think it's going to be more than 2 matches. I think it's going to be maybe like about 4 or 5 really short matches. Like you can do 4 decent sized shortish matches for the first hour, and then the second hour, first hour and a bit, and then the second hour is all building up to Cena's last match, and then Cena's last match. Obviously, they're going to end with that, and then maybe a bit after them. Yeah. But still, so they got Cody, they got Bayley. Who knows? Maybe don't think they'll put Punk in a match because he's got his match coming up against Braun Breaker. Maybe they'll put the women's tag champs in the match again too, against somebody completely different. Who knows? But I'm now seeing this Cena's last match SNME shape up, and I like what I see. And the women's tag team title scene saga made its way to SmackDown with Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss. I did enjoy this match, and it made sense. Alexa won, although Kairi looked really strong. But of course, we had Nia Jax and Lash Legend attack not only Charlotte and Alexa, but also Kairi and Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors. And they explained that after, Nia did, I think it was Nia who explained it, basically saying that, it made sense because Asuka screwed up and misted Lash Legend, and that's why one of the reasons why they lost War Games. I mean, it didn't lead directly to the pinfall, but it ended Lash Legend's dominance, and she probably would have won. So it makes perfect sense. We got baby faces versus baby faces, mainly on Raw, and then we have heels versus heels on SmackDown. And yeah, it's sort of a big mess, but you know what? The women's tag team scene on both shows is one of the hottest things going. In fact, the bigger stars are in that scene. No disrespect to Jade Cargill or to Stephanie Vaquer, but you got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kairi Sane. Who else was it? Lash Legend, Nia Jax. Well, they aren't really the biggest stars, but like the main event players are all involved in this scene. So I'm definitely interested to see. I don't know if they're going to end up doing like a fatal 5-way. It could have to be a fatal 6-way match. Maybe they'll do 2 for 4 matches. I don't know, but eventually we're going to have maybe the titles going back and forth, but we got to keep all these players in this scene until maybe just before WrestleMania, or who knows, maybe Rhea and Io are going to win the tag titles at WrestleMania. That could be interesting. Speaking of Jade Cargill, she annihilated Alba Fire. That was after Chelsea Green's interference was stopped when Julia, accompanied by Kiana James, attacked her, and they fought off, leaving Fire vulnerable to a quick squash with Jade. Now, on one hand, I'm actually quite glad that they're clearly not continuing the Chelsea Green Hervis feud with Jade, because that made absolutely no sense. But they are continuing the Julia and Chelsea Green. Well, it wasn't really a feud. Chelsea Green just won the championship. But I'm wondering, I'm thinking maybe they're finally going to pull the plug and make Chelsea Green babyface and the secret Hervis, because the fans definitely like her a lot more than Julia and Kiana James. They were booing Chelsea, even though Jade's a heel, they were booing Chelsea when she was interfering against Jade, but when Julia attacked Chelsea, they booed Julia. So I think they're going into that program. You know what? If Chelsea's the babyface and Julia's the heel, I think that could be a really interesting program. But Jade dominating Alba was fine, and backstage they set it up that Jade was, I guess, rekindling things with B-Fab and Michin. So maybe I think Jade's just going to keep dominating people. This was just an excuse to give her someone else to dominate. She's going to keep dominating people until Bianca Belair comes back just before WrestleMania, and that's going to be an actual feud. She might also have a rematch with Tiffany Stratton, but I think Tiffany Stratton's on a bit of a break, and Tiffany Stratton will be back for WrestleMania. After all, she's in the commercials. This week's U.S. Open Challenge, Carmelo Hayes challenged Ilya Dragunov for the United States Championship. This was a really good match. I was thinking Carmelo Hayes might win, and something my brothers have backed it up. Like, he's also a babyface. If a babyface beats Ilya Dragunov, there's a good likelihood they're going to continue the U.S. Open Challenge. Of course, I knew Ilya wasn't going to lose until he had a chance to fight Tommaso Ciampa, and Ciampa interfered, as Ilya saw on the screen. So next week, we got Ilya and Ciampa. They've been keeping that going. I think Ilya's going to beat Ciampa, and because ultimately he has to fight one of the MFTs. And speaking of the MFTs, well, they're going after the Wyatt Six as a group. I'm honestly, when Solo Sikoa invoked the late great Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy's brother, and said Bo leave, which was Bo Dallas's old thing, that needed an answer. That got they were getting what chants from the crowd. Now, I'm all for what chanting heels, but if it's someone like Solo's doing a really good job, and he sort of gets the cadence of how to block it, but he wasn't doing so well. But once he went into that part, people would know it wasn't the what anymore. It's just boo. It's like, ooh, you went there. And then the lights went down. We had the Wyatt Six. They're not doing the full entrance because people know what that music and the lights down means. They know what the lights down means. It means the Wyatts are coming in. And there were fireflies in the crowd before the lights even went down. So it was talking. But yeah, I'm behind this feud. I'm wondering if maybe the MFTs need a woman in their group, or although Nikki Cross could just take out whoever. And in addition to the tag titles being part of this, I think the next thing they're going for is Eric Rowan versus Tala Tonga, with just the two guys, the height. Tala Tonga's even a little bit taller than Eric Rowan, but yeah, big, tall guys. I'm definitely into seeing that match. I think that match is going to be really interesting. And I'm glad they didn't make this the Survivor Series match. I'm glad they waited till after, because I think this feud, the concept of it didn't really interest me that much before, but now I'm seeing how this could actually really work and be a very interesting mid-card SmackDown feud. Speaking of the SmackDown mid-card, or more the upper mid-card, Rhea Ripley's now part of it, at least for a week. Yeah, the Terror Twins are reuniting. We had the promo video from Damian Priest, and Rhea came in, and next week they're going after Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. They had another video from them where Zelina Vega had a snake this time. But I was wondering if this meant Rhea was going to come in before she even gave that little hint to Priest. I was also thinking, Rhea's the top star in the industry, and she's involved in major stuff on Raw, the women's tag team title scene, maybe on most shows, but isn't the Zelina Vega and Aleister Black thing a little bit smaller for her? Because Damian Priest is not at the stage where Rhea Ripley is now. He used to be a little bit higher up the card, but you know what? Maybe this is going to bring him back up. And if it's a one-off, I think this could be really good. And we know that Rhea Ripley and Zelina Vega can work together, Damian Priest and Aleister Black. So I don't think it's going to be more than one match. And I think this might end the Aleister Black, Damian Priest feud. And then Black will go on to someone else. Zelina Vega, Damian will go on to someone else, probably on SmackDown. And Rhea will go back to, basically just continue focusing on her team with EO and wherever that goes on either show. And these were my assorted thoughts on the December 5th, 2025 WWE Smackdown. What did you think of my thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there something I missed on the show that I should have talked about? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. Also, jasoncmclean.bsky.social on Bluesky, and check out silovoicewrestling.com for written wrestling news. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, WWE Premium Live Event prediction and review videos, wrestling opinion pieces, and assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown. Now, I'm going to be back with my assorted thoughts on Raw, but as I mentioned during the video, I recorded a bunch of different best of 2025 with my brother Joe. We'll top matches of the year, top PLEs, best face turn, heel turn, wrestler, surprise moment, long stuff. I think we mentioned John Cena a lot in these little spoiler thing, but I'm going to be releasing these as 5 separate videos. And I think for the audio listeners, I'm going to put them all into one long audio podcast about an hour long. So because on audio, people listen to things. I notice it's more the longer, whereas YouTube, it's more shorter. So expect that to be coming out, even though it's already been recorded. And yeah, I'll be back with my assorted thoughts on Raw. Until then, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.